Welcome everybody to the Reign of Jafar. Give the video a like if you're excited. We have a ton of cards to review and give some thoughts on. I do think I have a pretty big strength in evaluating cards, but I'm not going to get everything right. So please let me know in the comments if there's any interactions that I overlooked with cards, if you strongly disagree with me on any cards, but also let me know what your favorite card from today's video is and get involved in the discussion in the comments. A big thank you to the channel sponsor Card Market. In this video we have reprints, or maybe like one reprint. We have legendary cards, we've got unbelievably interesting cards, and there's also a ton of cards which I'm going to be reacting to for the very first time. It's going to be a fun one. Fantastical and magical. It's a fantastical and magical looking card. I don't think it's that good competitively though. Let me tell you why. It's Sing Together 9. Obviously Amethyst and Amber has a pretty big theme of Madrigal cards, and we'll have to see what the other synergy might be with those. Ariel is obviously going to come to mind as a big payoff with this kind of card, because you could play Ariel on 3, add this into your hand, play a 4-cost character, and then on turn 5 you could sing with Ariel and that 4-cost character. That would mean you draw 2 cards and gain 2 lore. That's not very impressive. You're also going to be exerting an Ariel and a 4-cost character to do that. So really, for this card to get much more value, you're going to need to be exerting and singing with a lot of characters. And as soon as you're exerting a lot of characters, you could have just been gaining 1 lore by exerting them anyway. There's the similar card, actually, This Is My Family, which is the 2-cost Madrigal song from the previous set, and it was a card I really liked the look of initially, and I still think that one has some potential with the right synergies. But the reality is that singing that with a 2-cost character, it just draws you a card and replaces itself, because almost every 2-cost character in the game can quest for 1 anyway. So I don't think I like the look of this one as an uninkable. The other thing is, this card is a complete brick if you don't pull off the Sing Together, because if you get to 9 ink and you spend 9 ink on this, it does literally nothing. I guess it would count as playing a song and you could get a Muse's trigger, but I don't think that's what you're going to want for 9 ink. So I don't think this one's very good, but we're going to have to wait and see. It has like the potential, if there's like some kind of new card that comes out in the set which is gaining big value as a result of singing, and it's cheap, especially like cards like Cinderella, which are nice and cheap and have big sing accounts. I'm very skeptical that this one is going to be good at all though, but it's very interesting, that's for sure. It looks like a fun card maybe in the co-op mode, for example, right? Like if you're working together against Jafar and you can sing together across your cards against Jafar, I could see that being pretty cool in that sort of format. But I think in core constructed and in sealed, it's going to be one that you're going to want to avoid. At least that's my early impression. Up next we've got Calhoun, the hard-nosed leader. It's a 4/5 bodyguard. It quests for 2 and it costs 6. When this character is banished, gain 1 lore. So it's like a mini goat, but its stats are very lackluster. It's expensive. You can't use just in time to play it. It's a no from me. It's a lovely art. And again, I've had some feedback. I maybe need to talk more about the art and all that sort of stuff in these videos. This is aimed at people that want to know if the cards are good or not, and I don't think that one's particularly good. The Madam Mim Rhinoceros, and again, big shout out to Mushu Report for putting these images together and all in one place and giving me easy translations. This is a Floodborne villain sorcerer, and its ability is Make Way. Coming through, when you play this character, banish her or return another chosen character of yours to your hand. Shift 2 as well. So when you play this character, banish her or return another chosen character of yours to hand. Okay, so it's just like a normal Madam Mim, right? It's got the same ability, which is that you can play her and you can add a character back to hand, or you banish her. So obviously you're never going to do that. You're going to play her and add another card back to hand. So it's similar to the elephant, the fox, and the snake that we know, but it's a 6-cost uninkable. The big deal on this one is it's a Floodborne with Shift 2. I don't believe there's any 1-cost Madam Mims currently. Of course, there is the snake. And it's a Ruby Amethyst dual ink card. I love how like we've got so much going on with this card, but I don't think it's very good. 6-cost uninkable, you're really just going to be only looking to shift it. Madam Mim Elephant never caught on, and I think if the Madam Mim Elephant never caught on, I don't have too much hope for the Rhinoceros, particularly considering it's limited to Ruby and Amethyst. The other thing to consider is the shift 2 is not even that relevant. Like, let's say there is a 1-cost Madam Mim. It's not like you want to shift this in on turn 2 because you're going to have nothing to bounce back if you do so, right? Like if you think about the Queen, for example, her shift 2, that's really, really good because you can get it down early and that allows you to get a whole new world through early. But putting this down on turn 2 is just never going to happen because you're going to banish yourself with it. So I don't think this one's good very much at all, but we'll have to see again. Just my early impression. We've got a Camilla Madrigal. The ability on this one, well, it's a Storyborn ally and a Madrigal, and the Madrigal decks are definitely of interest to me as we get more and more support. We already saw the Lady and the Tramp combo decks and theme decks really getting pushed very much by these dual ink cards, and I don't think that the Madrigal deck is going to be 10 million miles away. It certainly wasn't there for me in the most recent set, but there's some interesting things there. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on these cards. Encore. When this character is banished in a challenge, return him to your hand. It's got pretty good stats. 4/4 that quests for 2 is not too bad. It's not going to be that easy to remove Camillo outside of a challenge, right? Something like Zeus or Strength could deal with it. But 4/4 stat line is actually pretty impressive. Like, it's going to trade evenly with a Fox, for example. That's a pretty big deal. It's not spectacular, is it? I don't think it's spectacular here. And the flavor text here roughly translates to, my primo Camillo won't stop until he makes you smile today, Mirabelle Madrigal. Not too sure about this one. It's definitely a very good card in a sealed format. I can tell you that much for free. But I very much doubt it's going to make the cut in a constructed deck. Up next, we have Antonio's Jaguar. And again, these are maybe slightly rough translations, so bear that in mind. The Faithful Companion. It's a 2-cost inkable with a 1/4 stat line that quests for 1. It's a Storyborn ally, and the ability is you want to go where when you play this character. If you have a character in play named Antonio Madrigal, gain 1 lore. The flavor text, he knows where to go, you just have to follow him, Antonio Madrigal. Yeah, it's not very good, is it? 1/4 stat line for 2 cost is very lackluster. Only quest for 1. And really, in order for this card to be even slightly playable, you're going to need to have Antonio Madrigal down on the board. At this moment in time, there's not a single Antonio Madrigal card I could even tell you about. It's one of the weakest characters in the game so far, but maybe if you get a 1-cost Antonio Madrigal that quests for 2, then I could begin to be a little bit interested in the Jaguar. But even then, even if that was the case, I kind of doubt it. But obviously with like an Amethyst bounce package, you could replay it and it's like a cheap goat. But if you compare this to Honeymarin's a 2/2, which gains a lore if your opponent has an exerted character. Like, I just think that is a vastly, vastly superior card to this. This is very, very clunky. It also doesn't have the Madrigal tag, which is worth noting. Up next, we've got Roly. Roly is a Amber and Sapphire card. It's a puppy, of course, and it has support. And the Adorable Antics ability is when you play this character, you may put a character card from your discard in your Inkwell face down and exerted. Now, that is a very powerful ability. So, it's like a turn... It's very similar to Mickey Mouse, right? The 3-cost uninkable Mickey Mouse. But it's a puppy, of course. So there's some big puppy synergy in there. And again, like, you should not underestimate the potential of these theme decks with the dual ink cards popping off out of nowhere. The puppies weren't good enough recently, but as cards continue to get added to the puppy decks and continue to get added to the Madrigal decks, they are going to become more serious, I do believe, and I think it's really, really exciting. Support's a very, very powerful keyword with a 2/3 stat line. It's not spectacular, but if Roly has big other puppy synergy and big other value by just being a puppy, he's good. Like, when you're playing a puppy deck, you want to play a lot of puppies, and this is a good puppy. And there's one of the biggest weaknesses of the puppy decks is actually most of the puppies are kind of terrible, but this one is not. So that's pretty interesting. The chubby puppy is the flavor text, and who doesn't love a chubby puppy, mate? I certainly do. Up next, we've got the Mouse Queen. She's a vanilla card with a 3/6 stat line. And the flavor text here, after that dreadful Ratigan business, I know about villains. This Jafar is certainly a villain of the highest order. It's a vanilla card. 3-6 stat line is not bad. We actually randomly did see a Hades with, I think, a 3-6 stat line, catching on and seeing a tiny bit of success in Sapphire Emerald last set. Someone got a good performance in a tournament in Germany with that, with a list very similar to what I played, but like the 3-6 Hades. I mean, it's really not a terrible card by any stretch, but obviously there's just usually going to be better options. Like if you compare this to Grammatala, Grammatala's a 3-3, so you miss out on 3 willpower, but you get a whole extra card in hand. So probably not going to see much competitive play. Looks like a good one for sealed. Oh my days, Perdita Mother. I think this one's really good from what I've heard. The people on the net talking about this. It's a 6 cost, not a puppy. Perdita, not a puppy, but she is the big puppy payoff. When you play this character, you may put all puppy characters from your discard into your Inkwell face down and exert it. Damn. It's a shift 4. Not sure how many cheap Perditas there are to really enable that. Obviously, Morph is not an option in Amber and Sapphire. But if you've got a ton of puppies in your discard, Perdita could do the business. I think like Rockstar Stitch is one that could be interesting for puppy decks. This has potential, but like I don't really know that like how much ink do you need if you're playing a puppy deck. I mean, ink is never a bad thing. It's obviously got huge potential, but I'm still not quite seeing all the pieces mesh together. I will admit, the puppy decks I looked at on the first week or so of the last set, I looked at it and I was like, okay, this just isn't going to be good. There's just no way it's a serious deck yet. So I'm not completely and utterly confident on all what the other puppies do. But I think this might be the set we have to take the puppies for a test run. Like there's definitely some powerful things that you can potentially do. Perdita, there you go. Okay, there you go. That's a big deal. A 2-cost Perdita. While you have a puppy character in play, this character gets +1 strength. Again, it's not a great card, is it? You're playing Sapphire. Would you rather on turn 2 play a Tipo, which sets up your Roly? Or would you rather play a Perdita 1-4 on turn 2, or I guess a 1-5? I think the answer is quite clear. You'd rather play Tipo, wouldn't you? Not so convinced by that one. It is obviously a shift target for this, but again, like how many puppies are you going to have in your discard by turn 4? You're playing a Perdita on 2. You're playing a Perdita on 4. You can only have played 2 other characters, really. You could play a 1 cost on turn 1, and on turn 3 a 3 cost. So you're going to have like almost max 2 puppies in your discard by that point if you're lucky. Doesn't really sound like it's a very good shift line, and it's quite an expensive card. I don't know. Jury's out on those for now, but I'm excited to take them for a spin. There's definitely some powerful things going on there. Hades, the Ruthless Tyrant. It's a Ruby Amethyst card. 7 cost uninkable with a 3-6 stat line. It's questing for 2. Don't forget, I'm the guy with the leverage here. Short on patience is when you play this character, and whenever he quests, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to draw 2 cards. Now that sounds a little bit like our old toy maker friend. When you play and when it quests. The difference is, Hiram was inkable, Hiram costs 4, but Hades quests for 2. This card is an interesting one. Ruby and Amethyst is limiting it significantly, right? If this was just a Ruby card, for example, or just an Amethyst card, you'd be able to pair it with ramp strategies like Sapphire, or even like the Lantern in Amber, or Gaston in Amber. But because it's Ruby and Amethyst, it's expensive. And it's competing at a very expensive uninkable slot at 7, where you've got already Be Prepared. You've already maybe got Sisu and Scar and Madame Medusa and Lady Tremaine all in that sort of range. But it is a good card when you play it and when it quests. I mean, that's always got to be good. Difficult to remove. Like, we know how good 6 willpower is, especially if you've got 3 strength. Like, that is a very, very difficult card to take down if it hits the board. It's not a card you're going to be able to play many copies of because of its uninkable nature and the slot it's in. If there's a way of getting this down before 7 ink, I think it would be significantly better. But because you can't pair it with Amber and you can't pair it with Sapphire, my intuition is it's going to be a little bit short of the cut. But it could sneak into decks certainly as a 1, maybe a 2 of. It's definitely a good card, but that's just the power of these dual link pairings, right? If this could be played in Sapphire or an Amber, I would be a lot higher up on it. Maui, the stubborn trickster. Quest for 3, it's a 4/4, it costs 6, and it's only in Emerald and Steel. When this character is banished, you can either put 2 damage counters on all opposing characters, banish all opposing items, or banish all opposing locations. It's got good stats. The ability is flexible. The thing is with like the 2 damage counters on all opposing characters. Oh, wait, no, okay. Big thing. I was going to make a comparison to Bagheera. Bagheera was the legendary bodyguard from the most recent set, and Bagheera's ability only works during your opponent's turn. But with the stubborn trickster here, you can take a challenge with Maui, banish him, and then put the 2 damage counters on all opposing characters. It's interesting it doesn't say deal 2 damage, by the way, but put 2 damage counters on. That is slightly different, I believe. It's going to change some interactions. Like, nothing immediately comes to mind, but it definitely does. It's definitely different to damage all characters by 2. I can't exactly think of an interaction that might matter right now. I think there's like some characters that might say, like, if this character said can't be damaged, I think you could still put 2 damage counters on it. Don't quote me on that, but it's that kind of idea, right? There's a slight difference in the wording. It's not going to matter 99 times out of 100, possibly more, but just worth bearing in mind. Banish all opposing items or banish all opposing locations. The flexibility can't be bad. Emerald Steel has historically struggled with locations. My gut feeling is it's a bit expensive, and I don't know if it's going to make the cut. 6 ink is a lot for an Emerald Steel deck. You don't have an abundance of card draw. You've got Diablo, you've got Beast, you've got Prince John, and you've maybe got Doc. Getting to 6 isn't super smooth, and a lot of the time the Emerald Steel decks are very, very tight. You either want to go for like a discard package. If we start seeing Emerald Steel move away from discard builds, Maui could make the cut. I mean, he's not bad by any stretch. The card is well statted. It's a good card. I don't think it's spectacular though either. Like, it's not just like a card which you're like, yep, we're going to play it. If you're going to play it, it's not going to be 4 copies, I think. It's going to be something you just squeeze in a couple of maybe. But I would imagine it doesn't quite get there. King Candy, the Sugar Rush Nightmare Racer. So we've talked a lot about these puppy decks, these Madrigal theme decks. Well, Amber Ruby is the Racers, and I have to say these are the ones that I have the least faith in being competitive. But I haven't seen any of the new ones, but the ones from the previous set, there was like one Racer that was quite good, but it relied on having, I think it was a King Candy, but its payoff was putting a Racer from your discard back in your hand. But you need good Racers for that payoff to be good. So we're looking for some good Racers, and then maybe we can start believing in the Racers. But I'm skeptical already. I haven't read the cards yet. When this character is banished, you may return another Racer character card from your discard to your hand. Wait, what? That sounds like the ability I was just talking about. So I think there's a different King Candy that costs 4, and there's maybe like some kind of King Candy loop that you could now do, which is interesting. That is definitely a dynamic. The deck, you know, there was no real identity that came to mind of like, oh yeah, that's why I want to play this deck. Whereas now I can see a deck which is a Racer gets banished, you get another Racer, and then the Racer gets banished, and you cycle stuff. That sounds like there could be something there then. So that's interesting. We've got the Chem Purse, or the Chem Purse. Reading is apparently quite hard. Cute, but also potentially devastating. Perfect. Honey Lemon. It's an item. And here's the best part. Whenever you play a character, if you use Shift to play them, they get +4 strength this turn. I don't like it. There's definitely some interesting Floodborne dynamics in Emerald and Sapphire, and a lot of it is Big Hero 6 stuff. Look at me, I watch Disney films occasionally now. Big Hero 6, you've got Honey Lemon, obviously. You've got the Yokai, you've got the Hero Hamada, you've got Baymax. A lot of these cards are like with the Universal Shift and all that sort of stuff, are synergizing quite nicely together. I don't think that the Emerald Sapphire Floodborne Shift decks are terrible, but they're just a bit clunky. A big problem with them is that there's not really many good 1-cost shift targets outside of Clarabelle 1. Like, those decks kind of want to play Yokai on 2, which like reduces all your shifts, but you also want to play Morph on 2, but what you really want to do probably is play a Tipo or Sail on 2 as a Sapphire and Emerald deck. And this card just for me isn't giving me enough, right? It's slow, and then you're getting 4 strength for a single turn if you shift them. It is honestly terrible. It's a very bad card. Very, very bad. It's slow. It is low impact for a short period of time. I mean, it's high impact for like 1 turn, but compare this to a crab. Okay, I know that you don't have crabs in Emerald, but compare this to like the Emerald Tramp card, which can give extra strength based off every character you have. It costs the same amount. It's a character on the board, and it can probably give you more strength, and it's far less niche. There's no Hiram synergy anymore either. I think this is the worst card we've seen in this video so far. More theme decks. Lady and the Tramp. There is some crazy Lady and the Tramp cards in today's video. I haven't seen this one yet. It's in action. It costs 4. Return chosen character with 2 strength or less to their player's hand, and return a character card from your discard to your hand. Home Wreckers, that's what they are. Obviously, wow, that is very, very spicy. The card that comes to mind is, of course, the 4-cost Tramp, but it's also Rapunzel, and you can return a character card from your discard to your hand. So let's say you had to discard a Chernobog earlier because it was clunky. Bam! Only so much room. Another Chernobog. It is a non-character card in a very heavy character card deck. It does cost you 4, which is going to lose you tempo. It has potential. My gut feeling is it's alright and interesting, but I'm not sure it necessarily fits the theme of the deck. It could be great. If you want a Amber and Emerald deck, which is a little bit more on the mid-range side, like tries to stay in the game for a bit longer, this kind of card could be really interesting. At the moment, though, the Amber Emerald decks are very aggressive. And do you want to be spending 4 ink for this? Probably not is the answer, but it's important to remember you spend 4 ink on this, you bounce back the 7-cost Tramp, and that 7-cost Tramp might cost you nothing to replay. You get another big discard, then you find your Chernobog, bam. And therefore it can be higher tempo than it appears. It's definitely an interesting one. It's not a card you're going to play 4 copies of. It's worth experimenting with. LeFou. Okay, let me pull up the translation on this. It's a Ruby and Sapphire card. 2/2 stat line. It quests for 1. And it costs 2. And the ability is all for me. You can exert him and banish one of your items. Chosen opponent loses 1 lore and you gain 1 lore. And sometimes, LeFou, you really take the lion's share, says Gaston. This card's interesting. Again, if you're playing Sapphire, you want to ramp on 2. So 2-cost Sapphire character cards are always a little bit of a weird slot for me. One-cost characters in Sapphire are what you really want. You really want some good cards to play on 1 if you miss Popsicle. But the 2 costs, not too keen on old LeFou here, because it's basically like questing for 1, opponent loses a lore, you banish an item. And it's restricted to Ruby Sapphire. There is some synergy though with like the all-in item decks with like the weird thing is the card I'm thinking of, I can only think of the name in German, which is the Werkzeug, which means like tool thing. That is very, very, it's called like the workshop, it's called like the tool shop, I don't know. It's like the item which you banish it. That's so weird, I can only think of the German name. You banish it and like the next item you play has a reduced cost. LeFou has some synergy there, but no, it's a no for me. There's also Maurice's Workshop, which if you banish it, I don't think so. Pua! It's an amber card. It's a bodyguard. I love Pua. Free fruit. When this character is banished, you may draw a card. That's pretty good. Stats aren't great, but it is a bodyguard. And you draw a card when it's banished. It's certainly an interesting card. I tend to prefer like a fox or a snake as a pseudo bodyguard, because you can play a fox, or let's say a snake is a better option. Like let's say you've got like a Maleficent or a Lilo, you quest with the Lilo, and then on turn 3 you play 2 for a snake, you bounce the Lilo back, you replay the Lilo, or you can just play 3 for a Pua. You know what's actually giving you more protection is actually the snake. You get a bigger body on the board. Obviously, the snake doesn't replace itself, but it does add a card back to hand, and then you replay the Lilo. I think like a 2/3 bodyguard, a 2/2 bodyguard is pretty bad. That costs 3. I think it's too low in tempo, and while it's nice that it's gonna draw you a card when it's banished, I don't think that's enough of a selling point. This is a card which you want to be pretty quick, and this is quite a slow card. If it quested for 2, I could probably get behind it a bit. Good card in sealed formats, not so much in constructed. Quick shot, deal 1 damage to chosen character, draw a card. I like quick shot. I like quick shot quite a bit. I'm a big fan of these cards in steel, like Fire the Cannons and Baboom. This is another kind of addition. Deal 1 and draw a card. That seems like really good in like a deck which has like Fishbone Quill, for example. In like a Sapphire Steel Fishbone Quill deck. In like a Robin Hood Sharpshooter deck, it could be a reasonable option in that. I don't know. It is a bit of a weird one. It's uninkable. If you have an easy way of getting rid of your uninkables, I think it's particularly good. You know, even with like a Jafar Dreadnought. 1 damage plus draw a card. Like 1 damage can often be all you need to make a really favorable trade. I don't think the card is spectacular by any stretch of the imagination. Would I rather play this or Baboom? Probably Baboom, because of the inkable nature, but I think in an action heavy build, there's also like in Emerald Seal, like quite a lot of cards which are saying like, if you play an action which isn't a song, do this. And this card in that kind of deck is great because it's a cantrip, and a cantrip is any kind of card which you play and it replaces itself. This in an Emerald Steel pirate themed deck which has those kinds of cards seems like actually the place for this card. But even just in like a mid-rangey deck, I'm not sure I would immediately put it in, but we've also got to start thinking about rotation and what happens if Baboom and Fire the Cannons get rotated out. Could there be a deck which wants to play this? Maybe, you know, in like a Beast Relentless deck as well, where whenever you deal damage to a character, you can ready a card. Sounds okay there. It's got some potential, hasn't it? Up next, another one I need a translator for, but it's the Mad Hatter. Am I right? Oh no, it's a rabbit. It's not the Mad Hatter. It's the March Hare. Right franchise. I've exposed myself, haven't I there? That's not great. Light the Candles is the ability when you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. And the flavor text is setting a light atmosphere is his speciality. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. Very good card in sealed. Probably not going to be something that you want to play in a constructed format. Just a little bit too niche. 3/4 for 4. Quest thing for 1. It's like, what's it really doing? It's not advancing your win condition in any way. It's great in sealed though. I would definitely, if I was drafting and this got thrown to me, I would probably pick it without hesitation. Honey Lemon. Oh, okay. Now I'm excited. We've got the Emerald and Sapphire Dual Link cards, and it's the Costumed Catalyst. 3/3 quest for 2. Good stat line. 4 cost. Good stat line for Sapphire. We've been talking about what costs aren't that good for Sapphire at 2 and 3 really, but 4 is great because you go Tipo on 2, Sail on 2, bam, Honey Lemon. Whenever you play a Floodborne character, if you use Shift to play them, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. I don't think I like it. I'm sorry, Honey Lemon. I don't think I like it. It's not bad. It's got good stats. But like, is this what, if with a Floodborne deck, is this really what you want to be doing on turn 3 after you've ramped? I don't think it is, right? I don't think it is. It's not even like in a Floodborne deck. It's like in the wider context of Sapphire. Is that really what you want to be doing on 3? You know, if I think about my Emerald Sapphire deck on turn 3, I want to play the Muses, I want to play Belle and ramp more, or I want to play Atala. And I think all of those just seem significantly better than Honey Lemon. Don't get me wrong, being able to bounce stuff back to your opponent's hand is great, but how many times are you going to be shifting and triggering this ability? Like maximum 2. If you're shifting 2 things, you're in a winning position. And if you're not shifting anything, you're in a bad position, and this card just compounds that. So I don't think that this is a card I would be interested in playing, even if I was all in on shift. Undermine. Oh, Ruby Emerald. Oh, it's Milo Thatch, my boy. It's a real shame I didn't even get a chance to study it. Okay. Chosen opponent chooses and discards a card. Ooh! baby. Oh, baby. Hello. All right, I'm officially excited. Oh, that's a very good card. Oh, my goodness, that's good. And it's Milo Thatch, my boy. Okay, it's my favorite card so far. You might have noticed that by the reaction. Why is this so good? Well, Ruby Emerald, actions are great in that deck. You've got Bruno, you've got Hypnotize, you've got Sudden Chill, Pirate's Life, Brawl. Prince John is your best card draw in that deck by a absolute mile. Robin Hood Sharpshooter fits in that deck perfectly for that reason, because Robin Hood Sharpshooter hitting those actions, like song cards, like Sudden Chill, like Bruno, are great in many places. Action cards like Hypnotize is not the best example, but action cards often just feel significantly worse than songs, but they could be more powerful, right? Like if you think about Hypnotize as a card, you draw and they discard. If you actually think of, like, we're going to look at a new card soon, like Pull the Lever. It's like Friends and Sudden Chill in one card, but it's an action. Like action cards are inherently more powerful than songs from a design perspective if you are paying the full cost for them, right? Because you cannot exert to sing them and make it free. So an action in Ruby Emerald that makes your opponent discard a card and I get to give +2 to a character this turn is huge. Because Ruby Emerald wants to be a discard deck. It wants to be an action heavy deck, and it struggles with board presence. And this ticks all 3 boxes. That is a brilliant card for a Ruby Emerald deck. Without doubt, I'll be playing it. Oh, that makes me very, very excited. That's very powerful for the deck. Wow. It's not actually that good. It just fits with what the deck is trying to do so nicely. And it's Milo Thatch. I love dual link cards. They're so exciting. Poe Dispel. I thought this one might need a translation for a second, but it's Majika's brother, of course. What, you guys didn't know that? 3/4, quest for 1. Sister dear, if we turn all the townspeople into frogs, who will give us our golden turnips? I haven't watched DuckTales. Am I missing out? Is that one I need to check out, guys? It's a vanilla card. It's not terrible. It's not great. Cool art, though, isn't it? Poe Dispel, eh? We've got the Trials and Tribulations. It's a 2-cost song. Chosen character gets -4 strength until the start of your next turn. I'm going to prefer to play other songs in my Amber Steel deck. There's some synergy there with the Muses. Again, if I'm going to be playing like an Amber and Emerald deck with the Muses, would I rather play Trials and Tribulations? Or would I rather play Painting the Roses Red, which gives -1 strength to 2 characters, but very importantly draws a card, and it is without doubt the Painting the Roses Red because of the fact it replaces itself and this doesn't. Just a card like this, which doesn't replace itself, is too low impact to really justify including in most decks. I mean, in fairness, if we go back, well, you might say, well, especially Undermine doesn't replace itself, but it actually does if you have Prince John down on the board, which is Ruby Emerald's best card draw engine, right? So that's where the Undermine comes in, because it actually will draw you a card in games that you're in a good spot, and it will turn a winning position, like a good position, to a winning position. Whereas this card is like never really doing much. Captain Hook, the Pirate King. Oh my days. 4/5, questing for 2. It's a shift 3. It's Emerald Steel only. It's Floodborne Villain, King, Pirate, and Captain, which is a lot of tags. And once during your turn, whenever an opposing character is damaged, your pirate characters get +2 strength and +2 resist this turn. That is going to include himself. He is a pirate, and that's pretty interesting. So my gut feeling would be, rules question I don't know the answer to, if you challenge with Captain Hook, let's say you challenge a Mr. Smee, it's 3/3. You take the Smee down. Does this get resist 2? I don't know, like, I think they like damage things simultaneously, right? So if you're damaging Smee, Smee is damaging Hook at the same time. So I feel like it wouldn't get the resist 2, would be my gut feeling. But let me know in the comments below. That's my intuition. Jabba Juki. 4 cost, 1/6, questing for 2. Oh my god, it's Hiram stats. Obviously here I'm only quested for 1. This little thing has a much more rudimentary design than if I had created it. But if you were rushing development, then this makes sense. Ooh, criticizing Jafar, are we? It's an inventor. It's an alien. It's pretty lackluster. What was the stat line on this card we saw earlier? 3/6 that quests for 1. Would you rather a 3/6 that quests for 1? Or would you rather a 1/6 which quests for 2? I think I'd rather have a 3/6 that quests for 1, frankly. Chief Bogo! It's a legendary. Again, I've not seen a lot of these. The commanding officer. 5/5. It costs 6. Again, out of just-in-time range. Which I might be the only person that remembers just-in-time, but it was my favourite card in the first set. And it is an amber card. So that 6 cost mark is quite a big deal in that sense. During an opponent's turn, whenever one of your characters with bodyguard is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. So during an opponent's turn, if they remove one of your bodyguards, you can reveal the top card, and if it's a character of cost 5 or less, you may play it for free, otherwise put it on top of your deck. So it's like synergy with a Mufasa deck, but without wanting to have like a ton of top-end cards either. It's like a Mufasa bodyguard that could get multiple triggers per turn, but it's more expensive than Mufasa, which is a big deal. It has better stats. It only quests for 1. I have to say, Chief Bogo is not Chief Broken, I'll tell you that. It's definitely not a broken card. It looks like fun. From a competitive standpoint, I struggle to see it being any good. But it looks like a fun card to build the whole deck around, right? We got Nero, the fearsome Croc. And look, there's like a... Oh, yes! We've got the fearsome Croc and the fearsome Croc. They're both fearsome Crocs, but we've got Nero and Brutus. This is a 2-cost uninkable, which you don't see that often in Amethyst. 2-cost Amethyst is a slot that they have a particular weakness in. So if this card's playable, happy days. 2/3, quest for 1. And mean. You can exert it, move 1 damage. That might be cut off almost. I don't know. That feels a bit weird. Move 1 damage counter from this character to chosen opposing character. It's pretty awful, isn't it? It's not very good. The problem with this is like, it's going to come down on the board. It's uninkable. And then in order to get its ability, you need to exert it. But then how are you getting damage on it if you're exerting it? Yeah, this card's very, very, very bad. From a competitive standpoint, it's lovely art. Brutus, 4/3, questing for 1. During your turn, when this character is banished, if one of your characters was damaged this turn, gain 2 lore. It says that they're identical in cruelty and classiness, but they're not identical in terms of playability. I have to say, I think Brutus is a lot better. I don't know if it's that good, but it's, you know, I mean, if you compare it to a super goof style of card, a card which can gain you lore, and it's going to be very difficult to interrupt. The problem is with Brutus is that if it's banished in your opponent's turn, you don't gain any lore. And I think for me that's a deal breaker. It's the same stats as Goat. Obviously comparing any kind of card to Goat is not going to be fair, but it is a very similar kind of card to Goat, but it is so much worse, isn't it, in basically every way, apart from the art. I like the art a lot. It's cool. I mean, the Goat art's good too. We got Huey, and I think up next we've got Dewey and Louie, and there's also those Sapphire Huey, Dewey, and Louie cards, so an Amber Sapphire Huey, Dewey, Louie deck is a possibility, and the Reliable Leader is uninkable, costs 2, and whenever this character quests, you pay 1 ink less for the next character you play this turn. Ooh. Ooh. That is a very powerful ability on a 2-cost card. You guys know me. I like my land. I like this. Oh, I think I like this. Do I like this? I like my lanterns in Amber and Amethyst. One big issue that you have with a lantern is, compared to Blurple, you only have the lantern. Now, in theory, you could play a Huey and Lantern deck where you've suddenly got 8 ramp cards on 2. The problem is Huey's uninkable, Lantern's uninkable. This can also be removed relatively easily. If you're going second, it gets brawled. It's not spectacular, but That is a very powerful ability. There's good reason it's uninkable. And its stat line is really not awful. It's not bad at all. The fact it can be broad is probably the biggest downside of this one. I do prefer Lantern, and that's also kind of the problem. Like, I would rather this card be inkable and have lackluster stats. Kind of similar to Tipo, right? But yeah, I can definitely see why they didn't print this as an inkable card, but Huey. Dewey is a 4/4 that quests for 1, and it costs 4. It's actually good stats, but probably not going to be in your constructed deck. But maybe if you're building a Huey, Dewey, and Louie deck, it could be a thing. Snakes, firing lasers in a secret underground lair, no problem. And Louie, 1 cool duck. 2/3, it costs 3 and it quests for 2. Good stats so far, so a vanilla card would have 3 strength. So if this is a good ability, this is a good card. Because you're basically losing 1 strength compared to a vanilla card to have this ability. When this character is being challenged, the challenging character gets -1 strength. Well, I think I would rather just have the 1 strength than this no ability, right? The snakes are cool, I guess. Pretty standard trap, though. Yeah, it's a no from me on Louie. Sorry, mate. Huey, though, maybe. Huey is officially my favourite duck. Jock, the attentive uncle. We've got a 3/4 stat line that quests for 1. When you play this character, if you have 3 or more other characters in play, gain 2 lore. Again, we've got another goat-type card. And if you compare it to the Croc, the Brutus, I think Jock is miles ahead, right? I think Brutus maybe has slightly better stats. You know, they're reversed. I'm not sure it matters that much. I mean, for an aggressive card, you'd probably rather have the willpower. Trades with the fox. Maybe Jock has the better stats, and it definitely has the better ability. Much easier condition to meet, particularly in an Emerald aggro style deck. Settle in your wee pops and let Uncle Jock tell you a story about some Illumineers and I don't know what that accent was. Tramp, the Observant Guardian. So many Lady in the Tramp cards all coming down in Emerald and Amber. 3/3 quest for 1. So this, compared to a vanilla card, has 1 lore less. When you play this character, chosen character gains ward until the start of your next turn. 1 glance at the tiny tracks and his protective instincts kicked in. Ooh. Tramp, the Observant Guardian. That is a very good card, isn't it? Very good is maybe slightly hyperbolic, but that is a very high potential card. Giving ward to something. The thing is just like with a card like this on curve, what do you care about giving ward to on turn 2, right? If you're going turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, like what do you care about giving ward? Diablo maybe? Maybe, right? I feel like it's not bad. I don't know if it's amazing. This card's amazing. It's Lady, the family dog, and it is one of the most powerful cards in Disney Lorcana. And I mean it. I've seen it on Twitter. DKP was pulling his hair out about this. He was saying, no, how can I play my Ruby Sapphire with Lady the family dog dominating the meta? I mean, I'm putting words in his mouth, but it was words to that effect. When you play this character, big shout out to DKP. When you play this character, you may play a character with cost 2 or less for free. Pardon? The thing is, guys, is that's pretty good, but its stats are very good too. Again, compared to a vanilla card, it's got 1 strength and 1 willpower less. And for losing that 1 strength and losing that 1 willpower, you get the ability of dreams. You can go wide, you can pop off. Crazy good card. Suddenly, you no longer have to lose tempo playing an Ursula Deceit. That is a huge deal, right? Like if you're playing an aggro deck, Amber, Emerald, which is where most of the Lady and the Tramp cards are going to be, but this is just a good card across the board. In any kind of aggro, like even in a Whole New World deck, right? After you've used Whole New World, you play Lady and bam, you've got Lady and a 2 cost. Like Lady and Smee. Flip. That is good. But in a Amber Emerald deck, you go Lady. Like rather than having to play an Ursula Deceiver and discard a threat and lose tempo because you're playing a card which quests for 1 and still got Olaf level stats. Suddenly, if you just hold the Ursula return, you slam the Lady and you get to Ursula while putting down 2 characters at once. Like that's so good. This card's incredible. Best card so far. Not my favourite. My favourite is the Milo Thatch card, but that's the best one so far. Yelena, the North Order leader from Raya the Last Dragon. I've been watching some Disney films here and there. 3 cost Ingable, 2/3, quest for 2. When you play this character, chosen character gains Challenger 2 this turn. It's like a crab that quests for 3. It's very similar to the Jafar, actually, from the most recent set, but the Jafar's a 3/2, and the Jafar's in steel, and it's called Jafar. This is not called Jafar. This is also competing with crab. But let's not forget rotation might happen at some point. Well, it is rotation is happening at some point quite soon. You would imagine the crab might stay in the game, but you don't really know, do you? It's not a bad card, good for sealed, probably won't make the cut elsewhere. Chap. Now, I don't know if you knew this, guys, but I can actually speak a little bit of this language, whatever it is. Oh, it's German, because ich means I, and chap translates to chip. I know. Great. Oh no, actually, as it turns out, it actually doesn't. It translates to Dale. Really? Wow. Okay. Brilliant. And I think chip translates to chip, and chap translates to Dale. Because you're the fearless co-pilot capable of anything. Did I say fearless? I meant brainless. Chip. It's a 1/3. It's Olaf, but it's a chip. There is some chip and Dale. No, it's a chap. No, it's a Dale. There is some chap and chip synergy in this Lorcana. So, yeah, that's something to consider. It's the first 1/3 we've got, I believe, in Emerald, which is also interesting. Emerald doesn't exactly have the best 1-drops that are inkable, but you've got Pegasus, so I would probably take over chap. Or Chip, or Dale. But it's actually not a bad card, but probably not for me. We've got Madame de Garderobe, which is obviously the wardrobe lady. That is the direct translation. The wardrobe, perceptive friend. 3/4 quest for 1, and the ability is I have just the thing. You can exert them, choose and discard an item card, and draw 2 cards. Oh my goodness, it's Hiram that only works when you exert it. Not when you play it, and you're not going to gain any lore. It's a pretty good card. I like it. Just shows you how good Hiram was that I think this actually could see competitive play. There's also some synergy there with cards like Sven and Raya, which ready characters, and they're not allowed to challenge or quest, but they can exert. This is a good card, and it really highlights how broken Hiram Flavisham was. Megara, part of the plan, 2/5. While you have a character named Hades in play, this character gains Challenger 2. The sooner we get this done, the sooner I'm free of you. And it's good stats if you've got a Hades down, but are you going to have a Hades down? I don't think you're going to have a Hades down. It's got insanely good stats though. Like 2/5 vanilla is not that terrible. Like, I bet there's a card in Lorcana that costs 3 and has a 2/5 stat line in quest for 1. I would be surprised if there isn't. So the fact that she's got this extra ability, she's definitely a good card in the right context. But what's holding her back is probably that you're not actually going to have characters named Hades. And even if you do, how much do you care in a constructed format? Maybe not that much, right? There's probably cards which you'd rather include in your deck on average, but she's not bad. Ryder, the fleet-footed infiltrator. Who is this? Sheesh! What is it with this High Sultan guy? Can't he put in stairs like a normal person? Tell me about it. It's a 3/4 evasive. It's not great, is it? There's better 4-cost evasives like Iago, like the Ruby Moana, even Genie if you just wanted to stick to uninkables. But yeah, kind of similar to Iago. Iago's a 4/6 with Vanish. Probably going to get the nod, isn't he, over old Ryder here. We got General Lee, 3-cost 2/4 with resist 1 and it quests for 1. A single grain of rice can tip the scale. One man may be the difference between victory and defeat. The Emperor, or one woman, as it turned out. Yeah, I don't really like the card much. It's just not doing enough for me. But now we have a whole nother tab of cards. Oh my goodness, we're barely halfway through. I've got 30 minutes before I have to go, so let's rattle through them. We've got Mickey Mouse, the Giant Mouse. Bodyguard. Oh my god, it's a giant mouse, guys. That's crazy. Bodyguard 10/10. When this character is banished, you're 5 damage. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Speci, you're going to say this card's terrible. It's a meme. Wrong. This card is not terrible. It's a giant mouse, guys. How could it be terrible? The legendary Mickey from the most recent set is good. It is. It's a 2-cost uninkable, and you can banish. If you banish a character in a challenge, you can play a card from hand for free. Big problem with that card is, what the heck do you summon consistently? You probably want to play it with Amethyst as well, because there's like some cards which exert characters and give your Mickey challenger. It's like Reckless and something. It's like a 3-cost uninkable. You exert an opposing character, you gain you give one of your characters challenger 2, and then bam, suddenly your Mickey does the business. Also like synergy with Elsa potentially, right? The Elsa 5-cost which exerts. You exert something with 3 strength, you challenge it with Elsa, Mickey 2-cost with 1/1 finishes the job, and then you summon a 10/10 bodyguard that quests for 5, and when this character is banished, deal 5 damage to opposing character. That is pay off. This card is good. Calling it, this card's good. There's also synergy with the Queen, which discards cards from hand and gains 5 lore. Oh, I like the card a lot. It's a meme, but sometimes memes can be dreams, and this is a meme which I am believing in. A bit. It's a meme that's good enough for me to play it. I do like a meme, Derek. 2/7? 2/7? I think that's a new stat line. I don't know if I've ever seen a 4-cost 2/7, and it's Khan the Warhorse. When the whole world changes around, you remember that Khan will always be the same, steadfast and true. Farzo. Proud of you, Khan. That's all I've got to say on that one. 2/7? Crazy. Magic Carpet, the Phantom Rug. This one was revealed in the initial live stream, so I have seen this one. I don't think it's good. It's a 2/4 that quests for 2. Again, a vanilla card would be a 3/3 that quests for 2, and it wouldn't have Vanish, and it wouldn't have an ability. Your other illusion characters gain Challenger 1. It's not doing anywhere near enough for me. All in illusion deck? Sure, maybe. Maybe. Illusion can be a payoff, right? In like an all-in illusion deck. Like there's the Jafar card we're going to look at soon, but I doubt it's that good. This isn't making me want to put illusion cards in my deck, and this is not a card I would put in my deck unless I am trying to put illusions in my deck. You know? Stitch, the Alien Troublemaker. I think this is one of the arts on packs. Certainly on some of the boxes. I've seen this art quite a bit before. It's a 3/4 that quests for 1, and I win is the ability. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may draw a card and gain 1 lore. Ah, finally, a good use for his destructive instincts. Jumba Jukibar. This card's not bad. This card ain't bad at all. Drawing cards and gaining lore while challenging is something that Ruby Steel would probably quite appreciate. Similar to Jafar Dreadnought, I saw some people online making some comparisons to that, and I think it's a fair comparison. Thing is, like Jafar Dreadnought made the most sense because it was a Floodborne. You draw off Blue Fairy, you discard off Bucky, and because it was a Jafar. I never liked the Jafar Dreadnought. I remember, like, if you cast your mind back to set 3, a lot of people were playing it in Emerald Steel, and it was the first card I was adamant needed to be cut from the lists, and that was eventually the list that I became quite well known for at that time. Nah. I like it. It's got potential, but it's going to be only used in decks like Ruby Steel, where you have a severe lack of card draw, and even then, I'm not sure. Like in Ruby Steel decks, I honestly don't like too many cards which are focusing on challenging, like Calhoun's and all that sort of stuff, because your opponent's just not going to exert characters if you're not careful. It's got potential, but I'm unconvinced. Wow, Pinocchio. I was about to say, speaking of unconvinced, but I really need to process this one a bit. I've seen it a little bit. I haven't quite got to grips. It's evasive. It's a 0/4. It sounds like it's going to be good in Blurple already. 4 willpower for an evasive means that Genie and Elsa can double team him. Once during your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. But it's own. Nah. Wait. No. Yeah. Because you ready him in your turn, right? You ready, set, draw. So you ready, draw, set, draw for turn. But it's only once. That's the problem. It's not like if you ready this character 17 times, draw 17 cards. 0/4 evasive that quests for 2. I think this card's not bad. I'm looking at this card and I'm thinking about my Amber Amethyst deck that played Lantern, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I could do with a bit of Pinocchio. I could do with that over Iago. Like, if you're wanting something that's more aggressive, questing power over control in that slot, and maybe it's a deck which doesn't have an abundance of card draw, like you don't want to play Friends, you don't want to play Rabbits because you're trying to be a bit more aggressive. Maybe, hypothetically, you just want to play Rapunzel and Pinocchio. I think it might be good. I don't know, though. I'm not sure. It's not great. I don't think it's a card I'd play 4 copies of necessarily either, but it's definitely an interesting one. I tell you what, it's very good in Sealed and Draft. But how many people play those formats, I'm not sure. It's one that is worth keeping an eye on, I would say. I think outside of Amber and outside of Sapphire, I wouldn't consider it because it's going to be too slow. But if you can play this on turn 3, it becomes significantly more appealing. Jasmine, she's a 1-cost 1/2. I think the second 1-cost 1/2 in Sapphire that's a Jasmine. When you play this character, you may give another chosen character resist 1. Or, alternatively, what you could do is you could not play this character. That's what I would do. But it is a shift target. That's a big, important thing. Scarab. Exert. Spend 2 ink. Return an illusion character from your discard to your hand. If we can catch one, maybe we can recalibrate it to help us get rid of Jafar's illusions. Venturo and Illuminator. We talked about this one on the stream already because some of these reveals came through. It's too slow. It's expensive. And I doubt it's any good. Maybe against Jafar, for example. Like if you're playing a more long drawn out game, but like in Constructed, I just don't see how this could be good. Don't see it. Oh my days. The Nephew's Piggy Bank. This art caught me off guard. What is going on here then? It's an inside job. If you have a character named Donald Duck in play, you pay 1 ink less to play this item. And the payoff is that you can exert it and chosen character gets -1 strength until the start of your next turn. I don't really understand this card. I mean, I get everything, but like, why would I play this? Is my feeling. And I don't have an answer for you. There's no real. I don't really understand the card, right? Like you could be doing like a Donald Duck theme deck, but it's a no from me, unfortunately. This card seems maybe the worst card so far, I would say. I mean, once per turn, -1 strength. Maybe I'm being harsh. 1 cost for it. Honestly, it's more like Donald Duck. There's not really many good Donald Duck cards. And the one Donald Duck that is quite good is like the Bodyguard, which gives a lore. You don't want to play this in that deck, right? You're playing like a Bodyguard, which gives you lore. It's like an aggro card. This is not aggro. I just don't really get this card. Like, where are you ever considering this? Oh, hello, maybe. Here's why. Okay, hello. There you go. See? I knew there was something missing. Donald Duck, Coin Collector. 4/8, and it quests for 2. Here, Piggy Piggy. People say that to me sometimes. No. For each item named the Nephew's Piggy Bank you have in play. Okay. You pay 2 ink less to play the character. And now it all makes sense. When you play this character, your other characters gain exert to draw a card this turn. Oh my day. Sven is saying hello. You play this character, your other characters gain only during that turn. So Sven plus this is going to be very expensive. 4/8. How much would you be happy to pay for Donald Duck Coin Collector? And it's probably going to be, you would guess, a Huey, Dewey, Louie theme deck, which I think would be Amber Sapphire. But it's also like, do you even need Huey, Dewey, Louie for the Nephews and for the Donald? I'm not sure. Like, we haven't really seen many other cheap Donald cards that are coming to mind. I think there's maybe like some cheaper Donalds in like Ruby, for example, as well. If you've got 2 piggy banks down on the board, this is going to cost you 4. That sounds good. Very hard to evaluate. Very, very hard. My intuition is that it's not going to be that good, but it could. This card is not bad. Like I was saying, like, it's actually, the payoff is a big payoff, I would say. It feels like it might be a bit forced, you know? Like, you're trying to force it, and I think the reality is that, like, 1 in 5 games, it's going to be, all right, cool, that's pretty good. And then, like, 3 out of 5 games, it's going to be like, yeah, that's really bad. And then, like, 1 out of 5 games, it's going to be like, oh, damn, that's broken. Broken's maybe a stretch. I don't know, it could be good. I'm interested in that one. Forest Jewel, your characters gain Challenger 2, and when this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand this turn. It costs 5, that's a lot. Robin Hood Sharpshooter. Like, honestly, guys, I love Robin Hood Sharpshooter. Every time I see an action that's expensive, I'm thinking Robin Hood Sharpshooter might be the way to do it. Paying for this is not good. Getting it for free after questing with Robin Hood Sharpshooter, that's value. Like, for an action that's this expensive, you often need to cheat value out from it somehow. I wouldn't just pay 5 ink for this, but if you could cheat it out and reduce the cost of it with some synergy, that's where it might have some potential. Thing is this ability is usually good in a deck which lacks card draw, and Amethyst has a lot of card draw. We got Friend Owl. It's a 2/2 that quests for 2, but it only costs 2. It's vanilla, but I like the stat line. Sand in the Forest. I'll bet some magical miscreants up to no good. Well, it's none of my concern. I'm going back to bed. We've got Madame Medusa, 3/3 Deceiving Partner in Ruby Amethyst. There's a lot of Madame Medusas in Ruby Amethyst. Double Cross. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours. To return chosen character with cost 2 or less to their player's hand. 1 second, I'm just making sure my music isn't being disruptive. No, we're fine. When you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character to return chosen character of cost 2 or less. I don't think so. I don't think so. I like this card. We looked at this already. Ruby Steel, again, dueling cards, I'm always very, very fascinated by, particularly these ones that are pushing fringe ink color combinations, like Ruby Steel, Ruby Emerald, Sapphire Emerald, Amber, Sapphire, Ruby Amber. Like, these kinds of decks are decks I would love to see get better, and I think the best way of pushing them is with powerful dual link cards. Now, this one I don't think is spectacular, but a big important context with this Mulan is there's 2 Shift 5 Mulans, which you can play in Ruby Steel, which are very good. And Ruby Steel has an evasive problem. Like, it has a real lack of way of dealing with evasives. But this is something that can. And it can challenge ready characters, and it can deal with evasives, and it's a shift target for both the Ruby Mulan, which can, like, board wipe or, like, remove 3 threats at once, or there's, like, a big 7 cost Mulan. I like this card a lot. I think it's really, really, really fitting. It's not actually that good of a card. It just fits the deck and what it needs right now, in my opinion. And that makes it amazing. It's going to be a great addition to Ruby Steel, mark my words. Ice Spikes. When you play this item, exert chosen opposing character. And you can exert it, spend 1 ink, and exert chosen opposing item. It can't ready at the start of this next turn. You play it, you stun something, and then you can spend 1 and exert an item. Yeah, it's a no from me. It's not bad though. Like, if there was, like, more item builds for Amethyst, Sapphire, and Hiram still existed, I mean, maybe, but yeah, I don't think so. But maybe there's, like, some synergy there. Hero Hamada, definitely an important card, because the big payoff for these Floodborne decks is the Hero Hamada, like the set champs card. Again, if this cost 1 and had, I don't think there's such thing as, like, 0 willpower cards, but if it was like a 1/0, I would play it. I would try it. But 2, I want to play Ramp on 2. I'm sorry, Hero. I want to play Ramp on 2. But if you're trying the Floodborne decks, this will be a key addition. You've also got Morph in that slot. You've got Yokai, though. I just wish there was some better 1-cost cards. Like, a Hero Hamada that costs 1 is what I'm waiting for. This is almost that, but it's not quite. We've got the Dormouse. Ruby and Emerald. When you play this character, you may put 1 damage counter on chosen character. It's not great. It's not bad. I don't know. If it cost 1 and had bad stats, it would be great. But costing 2, I'm unsure that I like it particularly. Like Ruby Emerald is a deck which struggles for card draw. And having a card like this, which is like such low impact when it's on the board. I mean, it does something when it hits the board, but does it do enough? I'm not so sure. It's an interesting card. Maybe you could bounce it back with the Muses and replay it, right? Maybe that's something you could look to do. There's some potential there, but kind of doubt it catches on. Don Carnage is a 3/2 evasive. It's uninkable. And whenever you play an action that isn't a song, chosen opposing character gains Reckless. I was excited for a minute. It's a very reasonable card, but giving stuff Reckless, like I don't really know if you care about doing that. It's uninkable. I think there's better cards that have similar synergy of like playing actions that aren't songs. A lot of the actions that aren't songs and are good are also uninkable. So I don't think it's good. Bolt has big potential. It comes in exerted and it's a 0/4. It's going to get destroyed by Fox. The only power you need is the power of awesomeness, says Rhino. It quests for 4. That's a lot of lore. Obviously, after a whole new world, it could be reasonable. It's a shift target for the big bolt as well. Although I'm not sure you necessarily want to shift onto something quest for 4. But what you could do, you play this on 3. It sticks around for a turn. You quest, then you shift big bolt. And then you might feel quite happy about it. It quested for 4. And you replace it with something that has actual stats. And can gain you more lore. I think it's got potential. I actually like this one quite a lot. Get out! Not talking to you, chat. Banish chosen character, then return an item card from your discard to your hand. It's like a Dragonfire that costs 1 more that gives you a card back in hand. Even for just a Portsicle, that's kind of good. I'd probably pay the extra ink over that. It's also a Robin Hood target, it's worth noting, because it costs 6. I do love me some Robin Hood, don't I? But kind of doubt it catches on, but you never know. We got Alma Madrigal, a Amber and Amethyst Madrigal. 5/5 quest for 2. 6 is a big cost. Once during your turn, whenever one or more of your characters sings a song, you may ready those characters. I'm sorry I held on too tight. I mean, that's obviously got big synergy with the big song that I was criticizing right at the start of the video. Or just being skeptical about. Because you could sing with those, and then suddenly the big downside of that song is that you are going to have to exert them, and then they're done. But then they're ready and they can sing again. And sing again and sing again and sing again. This card's good. I like this card. Bernard or Bernard. Nobody knows. Or Bernard. Overprepared. 2/2. When you play this character, if you have an ally character in play, you may draw a card. It's not bad. There's a lot of ally synergy between Sapphire and Steel that hasn't caught on yet. Again, 2 cost in Sapphire. Most of the time I'd want to ramp, if I'm honest. And 2/2 is very lackluster stats for a 2-drop. But it does replace itself. I don't love it, I have to say. It's also not an ally itself. Tiana, the natural talent, is to sing a 6. 2/4. Whenever you play a song, each opposing character gets -1 strength until the start of your next turn. I don't think I love it. The fact it's uninkable is what puts me off. It's powerful, but I think that uninkable and the fact it gets brawled and all of that sort of stuff, it's just a bit too niche for an uninkable. We've got Abu, which is a 3/4 vanish. Whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the lore of the chosen opposing character. So, worth noting, you quest with this, you gain like the lore, and then the ability triggers. I'm not sure what order that happens, but you're just picking an opposing character and you immediately gain lore. It's not Abu that gains lore. Like, there was a bit of a misunderstanding that chat and I had where maybe you could quest with Abu, pick something that is questing for 3, and then this quest for 4, and then the next turn pick it again and suddenly it quests for 7. It is just immediate lore that you're gaining on Abu. Candy Drift, more Racer payoff, draw a card, chosen character of yours gets +5 strength this turn. At the end of your turn, banish them. Okay, we talked about those Racer cards, which maybe have some payoff by like recurring each other, like the King Candy cycling each other. That's some payoff potentially. I'm not sure if it's enough payoff, but it's potentially something, right? You can see the synergy. Twitter patted, pardon. Chosen opposing Chosen opposing character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. A mysterious phenomenon that makes you feel both invincible and vulnerable. One cost actions which don't replace themselves are usually a no-go. But that's a powerful ability. I would imagine it's like, again, like one cost. It needs to be really high impact, but it is pretty impactful potentially. If you're playing a deck which really lacks evasive answers and you've got heavy focus on evasives, it is until the start of your next turn. So like, I can just imagine like paying 1, putting my Robin Hood Sharpshooter evasive. Sounds kind of nice, I'm not going to lie. Don't hate it. Play it like at 5 ink, I pay Twitter Patted and another Robin Hood. It could be good. Bambi, oh my goodness. 1/1 quest for 3. You already know I like this card. When you play this character, gain a lore. And when an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand. What? Huh? Okay. Pardon? I don't get... Huh? When you play this character, gain a lore. When an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand. Isn't this just really terrible? Obviously, like, you could argue, well, if you're playing the Bambi and they're bouncing stuff back, it's good, you're going to gain lore, you can gain more lore. No. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I don't really understand this card. There has to be something I'm missing. Huh. Very, very curious card, that one. We've got Farleen, the Playful Fawn. It's a 2/4, it's evasive, and when you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character, this character gets +2. Not bad. Again, I think there's better evasives that cost 4. You know, if you compare it to the Pinocchio, I think the Pinocchio might be better, but a 4/4 evasive, it's not bad. It is uninkable. I still think I prefer Iago, but 2... I mean, oh no, it's not a 4/4. It will be a 2/4 that quests for 3. I don't think I love it. It's not bad. Bruno! Oh my god. 3/7, shift 5. I love the 4-cost Bruno, by the way. When this character sings a song, you may draw a card for each character you have in play. And it's whenever. There's some crazy things going on with these Madrigal decks, to be honest. Because then you could ready it with Alma. It's very expensive. It's very uninkable. And most of the Brunos that you're shifting on are pretty good cards. I am a bit skeptical about the Singing Seer here. I think he's too expensive for being an uninkable. Pluto, I don't like that much. It's also a promo card. Whenever this character has no damage, it gets +2 strength and gains support. It's so expensive. I need to rush through this because I've got 9 minutes and I've got to go. Aladdin is a bodyguard. It's a 1/9, which is a pretty bad stat line. It quests for 1. Whenever one of your ally characters quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from this character. It's too expensive and its stats are lackluster. Lady is crackers. When you play a character, this character gains +1 strength this turn. While this character has 3 strength or more, she gets +2 lore, and it's a 1-cost inkable 0/3, and it's a lady that you can shift, and it's a 1-drop in a lady in a Tramp deck. Crazy good card. Very, very meta. Very nice. I'm happy to see more Trenadog support. I really like Minnie Mouse too. A 0/8 bodyguard. This character gets +1 strength for each 1 damage on her. But Specky! What about the Brawl? Shh, we don't talk about Brawl. But it doesn't really matter. Like, you're always going to have stuff that gets brawled. If they don't have Brawl, they're in trouble. This card's very good, I think. I really like this card a lot. Pull the Lever! We mentioned this one earlier. It's like an action, which is 2 songs put into 1. I personally don't think I like it that much. 3 cost to make your opponent discard a card is a lot. Obviously, it could be nice, and it is flexible. It's really not bad. You guys know me. Anything that says discard, I like. And I think that anything that says discard and draw on it as an option can never be bad, and it's sinkable. Emerald Amethyst has a bit of a board presence problem where, like, you lose board control too easily, and this doesn't really help you on that. I personally don't love it. Patch, the wonderful playful pup. It's Ward. It doesn't say wonderful anywhere, but never mind. It's a 1-cost uninkable. And when you have another puppy character in play, this character gets +1 lore. Great card. Really, really good. Very, very strong. I like this card a lot. That is a Cinderella 1-drop, the Ballroom Sensations. Worst nightmare. Thumper. You can exert and chosen character gets +3 strength. Not in love with Old Thumper. They need some stats of their own, sadly. They're just supporting their mates too much, you know. Flower, I don't dislike. Whenever you play another character, look at the top card of your deck. Put it on either the top or the bottom. Very good with Bruno Madrigal. And I think Bruno Madrigal, the 4 cost, that, you know, you look at the top card of the deck, is a very underrated card. Very underrated. And this card fits a Bruno Madrigal deck very, very well. I think there's potential there. Bambi is a 3/2, beautiful art, Prince of the Forest. As he grew older, he began to understand his responsibilities to all the creatures of the woods. Is now a good time to confess that I thought Bambi was a girl. Palace Guard, Spectral Sentry, it's Vanish, it's a 1/4, the first 1/4 1-drop we've got, I believe, apart from, I guess, Daisy Duck. Good with Rapunzel, it's inkable, I don't like it, but in an all-in Vanish deck, like, if there's, like, some sort of illusion synergy where, like, you can sacrifice illusions to do something, it could be good, right? All the power of the normal guards with none of the insolence. Here's the High Sultan. This is also going to be the set champs card with obviously an alternative artwork. Amethyst Steel, 4/4, quest for 3. Very good stat line. You know, we looked at a Maui earlier, which had similar stats, but this comes down a turn sooner, and that's a huge deal. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If an illusion character card is discarded this way, you may play that character for free. Really good if there's like big, expensive illusions, which you haven't seen that much of yet. I think Iago, Cobra, Raja, obviously we just saw this like 1/4, but you're not really going to want to be hitting those. It's like big, powerful. I mean, Iago and Cobra, sure. It's got good stats. I actually quite like the card. Rapunzel, the evasive legendary. It's got to be good, right? Wrong. It's not. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during the next turn. I don't like it. Sorry, Rapunzel. It's very, very slow. Maybe in like a Ruby Sapphire deck where you're really struggling to stop your opponent winning the game, you could look at playing Rapunzel. But like, it doesn't even do anything the turn you play it. You play it, it does nothing. And then it quests. Like, I think John Silver is kind of similar to John Silver from set 1, right? I think John Silver's better. I don't like the card particularly. It's not completely awful, but... Jasmine has an amazing enchanted, and it is a shift 2. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character card and put it into your hand. I don't like it. It quests for 1. It's just not really doing it enough of anything for me. If you it's only good if you shift it, and if you shift it, it costs you 2 cards to play it, and you have a 2/5 that quests for 1, and it replaces itself. It's just not very impressive, is it? Most of the time, you're not going to shift it, and you're just going to be stuck with a very lackluster card in your hand. And finally, we've got Vanellope, which is a Hiss/Pegasus, but it's a racer. I can handle anything you throw at me. Wait, are those laser snakes? This is the best track ever. Thanks everyone for watching. That was the video. Very, very fun. I'm excited to do more card reveals. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring. This was a long video, but tomorrow's card review video will be a bit shorter because we're just going to try and do these every day now. I imagine we'll have the whole set in a few days, which will mean that we can start theory crafting. I mean, the set is 3 weeks away. Last set, they released all the cards like 2.5 weeks ahead of time, and in my opinion, it's too early. People start practicing and getting ahead of the game. But if you guys want to see some Reign of Jafar deck building theory crafting decks in the lead up to the new set, please do let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know your favorite card. Cheers.